Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart and welcome to our second look into Harry Potter. If you haven't seen our Draco Malfoy video, I do recommend it. It's going to cover how we look in the movies, Rowling's work, and magic as a whole. There's a whole thing at the beginning talking about it, so be sure to check that video out because if you don't, you might be unclear on a few of the rules. Also, be sure to show your support by liking this video, sharing it around, subscribing, do all those things that, you know, YouTubers are asking. Today we'll be taking a look at the big bad of the Harry Potter world, the Dark Lord, the heir to Slytherin, he who must not be named, you know who, Tom Marvolo Riddle, better known in the wizarding world as Lord Voldemort. Fun fact, in the French version, his middle name was Elvis in order to make the I am Lord Voldemort thing work out in French. It's really funny. Voldemort is interesting as when we start our adventure into the Harry Potter world, he's already been defeated. And he's technically been killed in a way. Despite all that, Voldemort is alive at the beginning of the series, albeit extremely weakened, with his goals to one day regain his lost power and resume his Dark Crusade. I can't think of many villains that lost from the get-go where we've seen them as a dangerous entity throughout their franchise, aside from Sauron, of course. And while we've met several dark wizards before and after in the world of Harry Potter, Voldemort still reigns as the most evil dark wizard of all time. But like other villains like Anakin Skywalker, Voldemort started from somewhere, and that's where we're going to start today. We'll be covering Voldemort's history from its earliest chronological point, and we will also be going into parts that were left out of the movies but are integral to filling in this history. Born as Tom Riddle from a young Tom Riddle Sr. and Merope Gaunt, after Gaunt had drugged Riddle and raped him, Riddle Sr. fled and Tom was born and raised in the Wolves Orphanage in 1926. Because of the effects of the love potion Merope used, Tom actually is unable to feel or understand any type of love, which is really fucked up when you think about it. This poor kid was doomed from the start. Is this an allegory for a drug baby? I don't want to get into that. At the beginning of the series, Tom is aware that he has gifts, but is unaware of his lineage or that he's a wizard. He has, at the bare minimum, stolen things from the other orphans, scared 2 boys in a cave, and killed a rabbit. Yeah. Yeah, I know I normally don't do that, especially with kids, but man, they went out of their way to really dress him up as that. But we'll go into further detail with Mr. Riddle and his experiments later in life as they become relevant. But with that out of the way, let's go. However, before we go, did you know that you can watch the next 3 alignment videos ahead of schedule by becoming a channel member, a patron, or a Twitch subscriber? Whichever one is most convenient for you, you can just go ahead and do that. Becoming any of these premium members gives you access to the next 3 alignment videos on your select platform and gives you a spot at the end credits of our alignment videos and gaming videos. Each membership also gives you access to another unique set of benefits. YouTube Premium gives you access to stickers and emojis not available anywhere else, and sometimes a 4th bonus alignment video. Patreon gives you access to monthly wallpapers, lore packets, and access to the uncut archive of our D&D campaigns. And Twitch gives you access to a different set of emote stickers and access to our entire streaming library. If you're especially ambitious and want to collect all 3 Infinity Stones of the Loading Crew, this gives you access to a special title in our Discord. It's mostly bragging rights, but hey, you're better than everyone else. Check any of the links in the description to gain access and help support the channel.
You're the heir of Slytherin. Since Tom's been here, he's never once had a family visitor. There have been incidents with the other children. Nasty things.
A young Tom Riddle is met by Dumbledore at the orphanage. Believing he'll be declared mad, Tom learns that he has special powers. Trusting Dumbledore, Tom shows his stolen trinkets to him and reveals that he can also talk to snakes. Neutral.
Is it true that Professor Merrythought is retiring?
Tom, I couldn't tell you if I knew, could I?
Tom quickly excels at magic in Hogwarts, and starting in 1938, and on the surface, Tom is a model student, becoming a prefect of Slytherin and is popular with several students and teachers, including his head of house, Horace Slughorn. He also befriends Hagrid, but Dumbledore keeps an eye on him. All the while, Tom begins looking up hints of his lineage while inheriting the idea of his pureblood beliefs. Lawful neutral 3 times.
Look sharp, Tom.
The heir of Slytherin has returned to Hogwarts. The question is, who is it?
In Tom's 5th year, he discovers the Chamber of Secrets, the Basilisk, and his lineage to Salazar Slytherin. He begins petrifying Muggleborns until a young girl named Myrtle is killed, chaotic evil twice.
Then what did kill that girl 50 years ago?
We do not speak of it.
When Hogwarts is going to be closed, Tom decides to throw Hagrid under the bus and blame Aragog for the murders while trying to kill it. This earns him accolades and Hagrid's expulsion. However, Dumbledore begins keeping an eye going forward and Tom is forced to stop. Chaotic evil and then chaotic neutral for the sudden stop.
Isn't it bad enough to consider killing one person?
During his summer, Riddle finds a lead on living relatives, the Gaunts. He goes to his uncle and learns that his father was a Muggle, making Tom a half-blood. He then kills his Muggle father and half-relatives and pins the blame on his uncle, modifying his memory, chaotic evil.
In the restricted section. And I read something rather odd about a bit of rare magic.
Tom, having discovered a concept to extend his life, asks Slughorn about Horcruxes, already ready to experiment with splitting his soul 7 times. Tom lies and says he won't tell a living soul. Technically lawful evil, because he doesn't tell anybody else about the Horcruxes. But he does that so no one else can figure it out. So yeah, lawful evil.
7.
Tom begins conducting the darkest of magics and creates his first Horcrux, using the murder of Myrtle to split his soul into his diary. He then makes his second Horcrux with the ring he took from his uncle, passed down with the Slytherin line for generations. Chaotic evil 4 times total, 2 times for each Horcrux creation because he is using dark magic, which we established in the Malfoy video, does give you an extra ding.
You're the Grey Lady.
Before leaving Hogwarts, Tom finds and uses his charms on the Grey Lady, the ghost of Ravenclaw. Deciding to use priceless wizard artifacts to house his soul, Tom learns the location of Ravenclaw's lost diadem, promising to destroy it, chaotic evil.
Yes. He's lied to many people.
I know what he's done! I know who he is!
Graduating with top marks, Tom tries to apply for the Defense Against the Dark Arts, but the headmaster, Dippet, says to try again in a few years. Tom instead goes to collect it for his next prize, murdering someone along the way and making it his next Horcrux, neutral evil and then chaotic evil.
Looking for something?
No, I'm just in the wrong place. Sorry.
Despite the offer to join a high-ranking ministry job, Tom takes a job at Borgin & Burke's to continue his hunt down for more valuable artifacts. When he finds both Helga Hufflepuff's chalice and a locket belonging to Slytherin, a jealous Tom kills the owner with a poison and frames a house elf. Then, killing a Muggle, Tom creates a 4th and 5th Horcrux. Lawful neutral for doing a regular job, and a ton of chaotic evils for making more Horcruxes and blaming it on a house elf. You just give it like 6 chaotic evil dings.
As though it were only yesterday, I confess myself disappointed.
For 10 years, Tom dives headlong into the darkest of magics. He returns to Hogwarts, now openly calling himself Lord Voldemort, and requests a Defense Against the Dark Arts job. When Dumbledore, now the headmaster, correctly guesses he wants it to mold young minds for his future army, he denies Voldy the job. Voldy then curses the position. Chaotic evil and neutral evil.
It's here, in the castle, in the place where everything is hidden.
However, before he leaves, Voldemort hides his Horcrux in the Room of Requirements. He then makes it a habit of selecting locations that hold some kind of meaning to him and leaves traps for them, chaotic neutral.
To him believe we have infiltrated the ministry.
Well, they got that right then, haven't they?
Now feeling secure, Voldemort begins his attack on the Ministry and Hogwarts. He brings in the outcast races under one banner. He begins campaign of fear and tyranny, becoming so feared that even his name scares most anyone. He also strengthens his defenses around his Horcruxes, and even commanding house elves to see how effective they are. Neutral evil 3 times. When one of his agents, Severus Snape, hears a part of a prophecy that spells doom for the Dark Lord, Voldy freaks out. Having 2 viable options in the form of the Potters or the Longbottom's child, Voldemort marks Harry as his equal due to their lineage. He then begins looking for them while the Potters go into hiding, neutral evil.
Remus? Sirius? My old friend!
When one of his other spies, Peter Pettigrew, is made secret keeper for the Potters, Voldy is told where they are. With no hesitation, Voldy kills James and Lily. However, due to the dozens of experiments and dark magics in conjunction with Lily's sacrifices, his killing curse rebounds, destroying his body and leaving the other part of his soul attached to Harry. Chaotic evil 4 times. Oh my god.
13 years it's been, and yet here you stand before me.
Horribly weakened but alive, Voldemort flees. He awaits for any loyal Death Eater to come, possessing any animal he can to survive, but they quickly wither and die. Not wanting to attract attention, Voldemort bides his time for close to a decade. Neutral 3 times.
Harry Potter, can't tell you how pleased I am to meet you.
When brand new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher Professor Quirrell tries to find Voldemort, the Dark Lord possesses him and corrupts his mind. Using his new temporary body, Voldemort goes to steal the Philosopher's or Sorcerer's Stone. However, it was taken by Dumbledore before he could arrive and flee. Lawful evil for enslaving Quirrell, and neutral evil for everything else. With no other option, Voldemort goes to Hogwarts and gets Quirrell to try to steal the stone. This includes releasing a troll in the dungeons and trying to work past the defenses, but is repeatedly caught by Snape. In order to keep surviving, Voldy lays low, but gets Quirrell to drink unicorn blood to keep him alive. Chaotic evil.
Now I want a nice, clean game.
That said, Voldy does order his brainwashed servant to try and kill Harry in subtle ways throughout the year. This does not work. Chaotic evil.
Slytherin students aren't allowed. And there are werewolves.
Deciding to learn how to handle Fluffy the dog, Voldy gets a dragon egg and talks to Hagrid. He learns how to get past the defenses in his weakened body, and to ensure he'll be uninterrupted, sends Dumbledore away from the school. Neutral evil.
You? No. It can't be.
Voldemort goes through the defenses until he's stopped by the Mirror of Erised. When Harry arrives, Voldy uses Harry to get the stone and to try to take it from him. First with words, then with intimidation. Too bad the power of love stops Voldy's plans and he is forced to flee again. Chaotic evil. Voldy returns to Albania, waiting for one of his servants to come back. He then waits for 2 years, bonding with Nagini the snake, while another part of his soul becomes active. Neutral twice. When Riddle's diary is given to the young Ginny Weasley, Tom begins quickly influencing her. Using Ginny, he possesses the girl while acting like a magical diary. He opens the Chamber of Secrets, awakens the Basilisk, and begins his reign of terror again until Ginny tries to dispose of the diary. Technically, this is a different Voldemort. We're gonna just put a diary, and that is a neutral evil diary.
Very much alive.
Coming into contact with Harry Potter, the boy who had beaten his older self, Tom frames Hagrid once again. Just not let that go. The journal is stolen back, but not before attacking another student and equally capturing Ginny, draining her life force to become whole again. Chaotic evil.
Stop. No!
Tom battles Harry. Unfortunately, the Basilisk is able to destroy the Horcrux and thus part of Voldy's soul. Chaotic evil. And the diary's dead.
Without the boy. No! The boy is everything. It cannot be done without him.
Voldy is reunited with his servant at long last, the cowardly Peter Pettigrew. They're able to also learn and meet with Barty Crouch Jr., and from the latter's father, learn of the Triwizards Tournament. Voldy then begins a long-term plan to get a hold of Harry for a dark ritual, with Crouch Jr. as his inside agent. Also, he kills a groundskeeper who discovers him. He also creates another Horcrux, Nagini. Neutral evil and chaotic evil. With Harry and an extra teleported to his base, Voldy orders Cedric to die and for Wormtail to complete the ritual. Chaotic evil. Now back at his full strength, Voldy calls his minions and berates the cowards who hid for years and did nothing. He then challenges Harry to a duel to show everyone his power, but Harry, with their twin wand cores and some luck, escapes the Dark Lord. Chaotic evil.
We think Voldemort wants to build up his army again.
Voldy quickly works from the shadows to regain his power. He sends envoys to the outcast races like werewolves and giants. He then causes mass disappearances. He also frees the loyal Death Eaters who went to Azkaban rather than hide. Lawful evil twice.
Sirius. Something he didn't have last time.
Still nervous about Harry and the original prophecy, Voldy uses his power to send an illusion that he has Sirius in the Department of Mysteries. He then lets Harry collect his prize while sending the Death Eaters to collect it. Neutral evil.
She killed him. She deserves it.
With his long-year plan ruined again, Voldy taunts Harry before facing off with Dumbledore. He tries to corrupt Harry, but is revealed to the Ministry, forcing to flee once again. Also, just a quick note, the fight with Dumbledore, absolutely nat 20 scene. Can we all agree on that? That is a phenomenal wizard fight. Holy shit!
Salazar Slytherin against the famous Harry Potter.
At this point, Voldemort's Horcruxes are all kinda having minds of their own and acting independently from him. These things that involve the actions of Horcruxes aren't going to affect Voldemort directly, but we will be paying lip service to this. During all of this, Dumbledore finds the second Horcrux, the ring, and realizes it's also one of the Deathly Hallows. Dumbledore uses it, and Voldy's soul tries a deadly curse in retaliation. The Horcrux is destroyed, but neither Harry nor Voldy realize anything. Neutral evil. Voldemort begins attacking Muggles and wizards openly now that he's revealed to be alive. As punishment for Lucius's failure, he sends Draco to do the impossible task to kill Dumbledore and bring the Death Eaters into Hogwarts for a takeover. This actually works, with Draco disarming Dumbledore and Snape killing him. Chaotic evil for purposely wanting to punish Lucius.
Avada Kedavra.
Severus, I was beginning to worry you had lost your way.
Now winning, Voldemort is ready to take over the Ministry with his puppet leader. He makes a plan to kill Harry when he tries to leave Privet Drive, demanding a wand with a different core, and bullying a freed Lucius for this after he tortured Ollivander for information. He also kills a Muggle Studies teacher for funsies. Chaotic evil several times. Let's just give it 3. Not that it matters at this point. The Death Eaters attack the Order. When Hedwig flies near Harry, Voldemort goes into the kill, but fails again. Chaotic evil.
Tom, I knew you would come one day, but surely you must...
For the rest of the movie, Voldemort begins looking into the wand strong enough to beat Harry. He begins hunting for one of the Deathly Hallows, the Elder Wand. In the end, he's able to find who he believes is the owner, Albus Dumbledore, and seizes the wand for himself. Chaotic evil.
The Ministry has fallen. The Minister of Magic is dead.
When the Ministry falls, Voldemort attacks the Order of the Phoenix. Now in control, he institutes his changes on the governmental level. This includes literal hunts for any Muggleborns with trials straight out of Salem. This is followed up by his change in Hogwarts as well, now run by Snape, forcing all magical children to attend Hogwarts and learn his teachings. Lawful evil. Twice.
What on earth are you doing, Albert?
You're lying, Dolores.
The locket begins manipulating Umbridge and anyone who wears it. Negative emotions are amplified for self-preservation. It tries to keep Harry and the gang in bad spirits like it was the One Ring or something. When it senses danger, it casts massive illusions to tempt Ron, but is beaten. So that is the locket being chaotic evil. Thinking Harry might be looking for leads on the Deathly Hallows, Voldemort leaves a trap with Nagini and a now dead Bathilda Bagshot in Harry's hometown. This works, and Harry loses his wand in the process. Neutral evil. Voldemort hears about a break-in at Gringotts and finally realizes that Harry is trying to destroy the Horcruxes. After murdering dozens of goblins, he takes Nagini with him and goes to Hogwarts to fortify his defenses. Chaotic evil twice. Yeah, let's do that. Coming to Hogwarts, Voldemort sends a message to turn over Harry, and that if they do, there will be no bloodshed. When this fails, Voldemort sends his army in, and when he senses another Horcrux destroyed, he helps obliterate the barrier. Lawful evil.
Come, Nagini. I need to keep you safe.
Sensing he's down another Horcrux, Voldemort believes he knows why the Elder Wand isn't at full strength and calls for Snape. Despite any loyalty Snape seemed to have, Voldemort kills him to have claim over the Elder Wand. Chaotic evil.
In their absence, dispose of your dead with dignity.
Voldemort sends another message out, recalling his troops and calling out Harry while he survives to take care of their dead and injured. Voldemort then waits for Harry and at long last kills his foe, and destroys another Horcrux. Lawful evil.
Dead.
Voldemort, triumphant, asks that one of his minions to check if Harry is dead. He then returns to Hogwarts to flaunt his prize and let anyone come over to his side with no fuss. Neutral evil.
I'll lure him into the castle. We have to kill the snake.
Harry reveals that he's alive and battles Voldemort, who's mortified. Nagini is killed by Neville in an epic kill. Not 20 killed, Neville. Good job. And with the wand not under his control and now weakened, Voldemort is finally killed. Chaotic evil. I think Voldemort is a good example of an overarching villain in the Harry Potter series for a number of reasons. It's tough to say that your big bad already has an L, but Voldemort is very charismatic in the sense that he's terrifying, especially in the books. You can easily see from his earliest memories that Tom Riddle is really fucked up, and he exhibits a lot of tendencies that we see in serial killers. Collecting trophies, keeping prize stakes, able to blend into crowds easily, talented, handsome. Tom masks his true intentions so well that people were sucked into his own hype, especially when he showed talent. But much like other dictators, the fanaticism and charm was replaced by a need to control via fear and evil. It's especially evident when we see that Tom's greatest fears is his past and his death. Tom was a nobody, a boy born in an orphanage who was considered an outsider and a problem to those around him. Much like Harry, he was overjoyed when he discovered that he was more than what he was. He could be someone and maybe he wouldn't be alone. He crafted his fantasy while looking desperately to find any clue about his past. And when he discovered that his only living relatives were living in filth and he came from a non-magical father, Tom snapped. He buried himself further and cast away his father's name, crafting a new one and a new persona. And when he knew that he could die, Tom looked to find a way to become a master of it, finding the best results with the Horcruxes. However, when Harry bested him, this dude became so hyper-focused on beating him again to regain any clout that he had and to erase any doubt that it again led to his downfall. Tom wanted to be seen as indestructible to everyone and quickly lost control as Harry continually chipped away at the illusion. But we can't talk about Voldemort too much without talking about his equal and opposite reaction. Tune in as we close out October with the face of the franchise. Thank you to the patrons, and I'll catch you all next time.